Jeff Bezos was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. From a young age, he showed an aptitude for technology and entrepreneurship, often creating inventions and starting small projects. After graduating from Princeton University in 1986 with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, he took various roles in tech firms, including Fittel and Bankers Trust, honing his skills in programming and business operations. NN2. The idea for Amazon began taking shape in the early 1990s when Bezos was working at a hedge fund in New York. He noticed the rapid growth of the internet and researched various online business models. After compiling a list of over 20 products that could be sold online, he settled on books due to their universal appeal and the vast number of titles available. NN3. The Garage Startup. In 1994, Bezos left his high-paying job and moved to Seattle, where he started Amazon in a garage. With only a handful of employees, the team faced numerous challenges, from securing suppliers to building the website. Despite struggles with funding and initial skepticism from industry veterans, Bezos remained unwavering in his vision. NN Story Scene 1. The first days, Jeff Bezos stood in the cramped confines of his garage, staring at the stack of boxes filled with books. Each box contained the potential for something big, yet the reality of his situation felt daunting. He could hear the sound of his computer whirring in the background, a constant reminder of the uphill battle that lay ahead. As he scribbled plans on a whiteboard, the ambitious dreamer began to imagine a marketplace where anyone could find any book they desired. NN2. Team Dynamics. Recruiting a small team of passionate individuals, Bezos fostered a collaborative atmosphere. The small workspace was alive with ideas, debates, and a shared goal. Employees worked long hours, often fueled by caffeine and inspiration, as they developed the foundation of what would eventually become Amazon.com. NN3. The first sale. The excitement in the air was palpable when the day finally arrived. On April 3, 1995, Amazon made its first sale, a book titled Fluid Concepts and Creative Analogies by Douglas Hofstadter. The first confirmation email sent to the customer marked a historical moment in e-commerce, signaling the birth of a new era in retail. Bezos and his team celebrated this milestone in the garage, knowing that this was just the beginning. NN4. Early challenges. As the orders began to trickle in, the team faced logistical challenges. Shipping books efficiently proved difficult, and customer service issues arose. Bezos encouraged brainstorming sessions, where everyone contributed solutions. This resilience showcased the team's commitment to making Amazon a success, learning rapidly from mistakes while adapting to the demands of their growing customer base. NN5. Vision for the future. Bezos often shared his vision of creating the largest bookstore in the world. But he saw more than just selling books. He dreamed of transforming how people shopped online, aiming to make Amazon a one-stop destination for consumers. His relentless pursuit of innovation and customer satisfaction would shape the company's future strategy, setting the stage for the expansive empire it would become. In the late 1990s, Amazon found itself at a pivotal juncture. The initial rush of online book sales had laid a solid foundation, but the pressure to expand was palpable. Jeff Bezos often huddled with his small team in the cramped office, their minds buzzing with ideas. One afternoon, as they mapped out their growth strategy on a whiteboard, a question echoed in the room: what's next? It was a defining moment that would set the course for Amazon's future. The team considered various options. They could stick to books and become the dominant online bookstore. However, Bezos envisioned something far grander. He wanted Amazon to be the everything store, a marketplace where customers could find anything they desired. The idea was both exhilarating and daunting. To make this leap, they needed a strategic plan backed by investments and robust logistics. In 1998, as the team grappled with these questions, Bezos made a bold decision. He announced that Amazon would not only sell books but would also branch into music and video. This diversification was met with skepticism from industry analysts who questioned whether a company known solely for books could successfully navigate the complexities of other retail sectors. Yet, Bezos remained unfazed, convinced that the synergy between different product lines would create a stronger brand and a more loyal customer base. With the decision made, they quickly assembled the resources needed to launch music and video sections on the platform. This meant hiring new specialists, negotiating with record labels, and understanding the nuances of digital distribution. Mackenzie Scott played a crucial role during this phase, ensuring that the team stayed focused and cohesive amid the whirlwind of expansion. As the new categories went live, the initial response was promising. Customers were excited to find not just books but also their favorite CDs and VHS tapes available for order. The introduction of these product lines was not just about increasing sales, it was about signaling to the world that Amazon was serious about becoming a comprehensive retail destination. The following year, 1999, saw Amazon go public, a move that would change the game entirely. The initial public offering, IPO, was a massive success, raising nearly $240 million. The influx of cash allowed Bezos to fuel his vision further. With newfound financial resources, he could improve logistics, expand the product range, and invest in technology to enhance the customer experience. The company's stock price soared, validating Bezos's ambitious strategy and reassuring investors that he was on the right path. However, the path to success was not without its challenges. Competition was heating up, with other companies like eBay and Barnes & Noble recognizing the potential of online retail. In response, Bezos adopted a strategy of aggressive pricing and customer-centric policies. He believed that a customer-first approach would set Amazon apart from its competitors. The company's commitment to customer satisfaction became legendary, from easy returns to potent customer service. As sales grew, so did the complexity of operations. Bezos and his team realized that to accommodate the growing volume of orders, they needed to enhance their fulfillment capabilities. They began establishing warehouses across the country, a move that would later allow Amazon to offer faster shipping options. These fulfillment centers became integral to Amazon's identity, enabling them to ship a wider variety of products and reduce delivery times significantly. In addition to operational expansion, Bezos was also aware of the importance of technology in Amazon's future. He invested heavily in developing the company's website, making it not only user-friendly but also capable of handling significant traffic. The introduction of personalized recommendations based on customers' browsing habits marked a significant evolution in their online shopping experience. It was a watershed moment that hinted at the data-driven future of retail. By 2000, Amazon had cemented its place as a leader in online retail, but Bezos was still not satisfied. He envisioned using technology to create new experiences for customers. Inspired by the potential of the Internet, he set his sights on launching Amazon Web Services, AWS, which would diversify Amazon's offerings and tap into the growing demand for cloud computing. This would prove to be one of the most transformative decisions in Amazon's history, setting the stage for long-term financial stability and innovation. As Amazon navigated its early years, every decision, from diversifying product lines to investing in logistics and technology, was made with an eye toward future possibilities. The groundwork laid during this period would not only help Amazon weather the storm of competition but also position it for unprecedented growth in the years to come. The drive to innovate and expand was relentless, and Bezos was determined to push boundaries in ways that other companies had not even considered. Looking ahead, the seeds of Amazon's expansion were beginning to sprout. The company had established itself as more than just an online bookstore, it was becoming a household name, synonymous with convenience and choice. As the new millennium approached, Bezos and his team prepared to take even bolder steps into uncharted waters, setting the stage for Amazon's ascent to global dominance. With the roaring success of Amazon's initial online bookstore, Jeff Bezos stood at a crossroads. It was 1998, and the world was beginning to recognize the potential of the Internet. Bezos, however, wasn't just interested in being another online bookstore, he envisioned something much grander. The seeds of that vision were sown in the small garage where it all began. But now he needed more. The early days had been a whirlwind of excitement and uncertainty. The first sale, a book shipped from his garage, was a pivotal moment, yet it was just the beginning. Bezos knew that to achieve his dream of transforming Amazon into the world's most customer-centric company, he had to broaden the scope of what Amazon could offer. N. Mackenzie Scott, his wife and one of the earliest supporters of his vision, had been instrumental in these formative years. She had helped manage the burgeoning company's operations, ensuring that every package was shipped on time and that customer inquiries were handled with care. Mackenzie's belief in the mission kept the team grounded during the chaotic startup days. Now, in the sleek office of a small tech firm that had recently been rented to accommodate the growing team, Bezos gathered his early team to brainstorm the next steps. He believed in collaboration, so each member was encouraged to contribute ideas. The room hummed with excitement as they discussed various avenues of expansion. None of the team members, an enthusiastic programmer named Andy Jassy, proposed the idea of expanding beyond books. What if we offered everything? A marketplace that brings together sellers and buyers, the way eBay does, he suggested, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. The idea resonated with Bezos. He envisioned a platform that could host all kinds of products, from electronics to clothing, creating a digital bazaar that appealed to every consumer's needs. The early team began sketching out plans for what would eventually become Amazon Marketplace, a game-changer in online retailing. As they brainstormed, Bezos emphasized the importance of customer experience. We need to ensure our customers feel valued. If we can provide them with an experience that is easy, quick, and fulfilling, they will keep coming back, he urged. The team nodded in agreement, motivated by his unwavering passion. Meanwhile, in the backdrop of these discussions, the tech landscape began to shift. With the advent of faster internet speeds and the growing accessibility of online shopping, Bezos saw an opportunity. He wanted to leverage this shift to create a seamless shopping experience. A few weeks later, they launched Amazon Marketplace, allowing third-party sellers to list their products on Amazon. The response was overwhelming. Sellers flocked to the platform, drawn by the expansive reach Amazon offered. Customers, too, were thrilled by the broader variety of products available at their fingertips. This expansion marked a significant turning point for Amazon, as it began to evolve from a simple bookstore into a comprehensive retail platform. However, as the company's offerings broadened, so did its challenges. Managing a marketplace meant navigating relationships with numerous sellers, ensuring quality control, and maintaining the integrity of the customer experience. Bezos addressed these challenges head-on, implementing a robust feedback system to monitor seller performance and customer satisfaction. As they ventured into new territory, the company faced its fair share of obstacles. Competitors were keenly watching Amazon's trajectory, ready to capitalize on any missteps. Yet, Bezos remained undeterred. Every challenge is an opportunity for us to innovate and improve, he often reminded his team. This mindset became a cornerstone of Amazon's culture. Over the next few years, the company continued to expand. They introduced features like customer reviews and personalized recommendations, revolutionizing how consumers interacted with online shopping. The algorithms used to analyze customer preferences became more sophisticated, driving sales and enhancing user experience. As Amazon's reputation grew, so did its ambitions. Bezos began to explore the idea of Amazon Web Services, AWS, a division that would provide cloud computing solutions to businesses. He recognized a gap in the market. Many companies struggled with managing their IT infrastructure. By offering scalable cloud services, Amazon could tap into a new revenue stream while providing value to other businesses. In 2006, AWS was launched. And within a few years, it became a leader in cloud computing. This venture was not just a business strategy, it was part of Bezos's grand vision of a world interconnected by technology. The success of AWS showcased Amazon's ability to innovate beyond traditional retail, further solidifying Bezos's position as a visionary leader in the tech industry. As things progressed, Amazon started to explore international markets. Bezos understood that to truly fulfill his vision of becoming a global marketplace, they needed a presence beyond the United States. Expanding to the UK and Germany was the first step, and the team worked diligently to adapt the platform to cater to different cultures and consumer behaviors. And the cultural nuances of shopping varied significantly from one country to another. And Bezos insisted on thorough research. We must understand our customers, not just their buying habits but also their values and preferences, he advised his team. This approach paid off as Amazon quickly became a household name in the European market. And despite rapid growth, Bezos remained committed to his original vision, customer obsession. He introduced initiatives aimed at improving delivery times and ensuring that customers received their products as quickly as possible. This commitment set Amazon apart from competitors and became a hallmark of the brand. Years passed. And as Amazon evolved, so did Bezos. He transitioned from a hands-on leader to a more strategic visionary, allowing the company to function independently while still guiding its overarching mission. The lessons learned in the garage were now being applied on a global scale, shaping the future of e-commerce and technology. With every milestone achieved, Bezos looked beyond the horizon. His imagination was boundless. And with every new innovation, he asked himself, what comes next? The dawn he had once pondered was now a brilliant sunrise, illuminating the path ahead for Amazon. As the future beckoned, Bezos gathered his leadership team to discuss the next steps. Ideas flowed like a river, each more ambitious than the last. Among them was the idea of integrating artificial intelligence to enhance the shopping experience further. The potential of AI thrilled them all. A sense of excitement filled the room as Bezos shared his vision of a more personalized shopping experience powered by AI. He believed that understanding customer preferences at an unprecedented level would revolutionize retail yet again. As discussions unfolded, the atmosphere buzzed with possibilities, each member of the team eager to contribute to this next chapter. In that moment, under the bright lights of the office, it became clear that Amazon was not just a company but an ever-evolving ecosystem. And the journey was just beginning. Let's not just think about the next product, let's think about the next paradigm shift in how people shop and live, Bezos concluded, his eyes glinting with determination. The team nodded, energized by the challenge ahead, ready to turn the vision into reality. And so, the stage was set for the next chapter in Amazon's journey, one that would redefine not only retail but the very fabric of modern society. In the heart of the bustling conference room, Andy Jassy stood before a wall of whiteboards, scribbled with ideas, graphs, and timelines. He felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, yet excitement coursed through him. This project was not merely an expansion, it was an evolution of the Amazon vision, taking the company far beyond its origins as an online bookstore. They were about to dive into the world of cloud computing, an industry that promised to revolutionize how companies operated and interacted with technology. Andy glanced around the room, taking in the eager faces of his colleagues, each one reflecting a blend of determination and hope. They had spent countless hours refining their strategies, ensuring that this endeavor would not only rise to meet the challenges but also set new benchmarks for success. Our goal is clear, Andy began, his voice steady and confident. We are creating a platform that will empower businesses to scale in ways they've never imagined. This isn't just about selling books anymore, it's about reshaping the future of commerce itself. As he spoke, the team began to discuss the technical details necessary to launch their cloud services, which would offer robust infrastructure to companies of all sizes. They explored architectures, security, and innovative features, all while emphasizing the need to remain customer-focused. It was a philosophy that had been instilled by Jeff Bezos from the start. Remember, the customer is at the center of everything we do, Andy reminded them. We have to anticipate their needs, innovate for them, and ensure that our service is seamless. If we can do that, we will not only succeed but thrive. The discussions flowed seamlessly, tackling issues ranging from the pricing models to support structures. Each team member contributed insights, showcasing their expertise and enthusiasm. Amidst this collaborative energy, Andy could see the future unfolding, one where Amazon was not just a retailer, but a provider of essential services that could drive the digital economy forward. Hours passed. But as the meeting drew to a close, Andy felt a surge of optimism. They had laid the foundation for something monumental. Yet, there was still so much work to be done, and the clock was ticking. He knew that they were up against fierce competition, particularly from established tech giants who had already carved their niche in the cloud space. However, he believed the unique approach Amazon could take, leveraging its existing customer base and technological prowess, would set them apart. With the meeting wrapped up, Andy made his way to Jeff's office. It was time for a crucial update. As he walked through the corridors, he recalled Jeff's steadfast belief in thinking big and acting small. It was a mantra that had guided him through Amazon's journey, and it now felt more relevant than ever. Upon entering Jeff's office, Andy found him reviewing performance metrics from the last quarter. Jeff looked up and smiled, gesturing for Andy to take a seat. How's the cloud project coming along? Jeff inquired, his eyes sharp and inquisitive. We've made significant progress, but we need to finalize our launch strategy, Andy responded, laying out the plan he had just discussed with the team. He presented the projected timelines and key performance indicators, emphasizing the potential market impact of their cloud services. Jeff listened attentively, nodding at key points. You know, Andy, this is more than just technology. It's about changing the way people think about the possibilities of business. If we can empower small businesses with this service, we can create a ripple effect in the economy. Encouraged by Jeff's words, Andy continued, outlining the innovative features they were planning to introduce, such as scalable storage solutions and machine learning capabilities that would help clients optimize their operations. We want them to feel like they're not just using a service but entering a partnership that will evolve their business, Andy added, his passion igniting as he spoke. Jeff leaned back in his chair, contemplating Andy's enthusiasm. That's the spirit we need. Make sure to keep the team rooted in our customer-centric values. The technology is important, but the user experience will define our success. After a thorough discussion, Jeff provided some constructive feedback and encouraged Andy to push the team for even greater innovation. We need to outpace our competitors, not just match them. Explore the unconventional and encourage your team to think without limits. Andy left the meeting invigorated, knowing that Jeff's encouragement would push them to innovate at every turn. They had the opportunity to do something revolutionary. And with that came the responsibility to ensure it was done right. His mind raced with ideas as he made his way back to his team, eager to put Jeff's advice into action. Days turned into weeks as the team worked tirelessly, testing prototypes and refining their services based on feedback from early adopters. They held brainstorming sessions where unconventional ideas flourished, and creativity thrived. Each day was a step closer to their goal, but time was of the essence. The competitive landscape was shifting, and every moment counted. As the launch date approached, there was a palpable sense of urgency. The team had grown closer, united by a shared vision. They celebrated small victories, yet acknowledged the challenges ahead. Andy often reminded them of Jeff's philosophy, it's always day one. He emphasized the importance of maintaining a startup mentality, even as the company expanded. On the eve of the launch, Andy gathered the team for one final meeting. They reviewed their strategy and anticipated potential hurdles. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Tomorrow, we're not just launching a product, Andy declared. We're launching a new era for Amazon. Let's make sure we're ready to support our customers every step of the way, everyone nodded, understanding the gravity of the moment. They were ready to take this leap into the unknown, driven by the belief that their innovations would empower countless businesses. As they left the meeting, a sense of camaraderie filled the air, a bond forged in the crucible of hard work and shared dreams. As dawn broke, the day of the launch arrived. The office was alive with activity, as final preparations were made. Andy stood at the center, watching the team hustle, each individual focused on their tasks, driven by the excitement of what was about to unfold. Suddenly, an alert pinged on Andy's phone. It was a notification from the digital marketing team. They had begun releasing teasers about the cloud service. He felt his heart race. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. The countdown had begun. As the clock ticked down to launch time, Andy gathered the team one last time. This is it, everyone. Let's change the game together, he exclaimed, a fire ignited in his voice. They were on the brink of something extraordinary, ready to unveil their hard work to the world. With a final cheer, the team moved to their stations, hearts pounding with anticipation. But then came an unexpected challenge. A last-minute technical glitch threatened the launch. Panic rippled through the room. But Andy, recalling the resilience and ingenuity that had guided them thus far, took a deep breath and called for calm. We've faced obstacles before, this is just one more. Let's fix it. As they rallied together, determination radiated from every team member, each contributing their skills to resolve the issue. They worked seamlessly, each second feeling like a lifetime, but with the pressure of the moment, they pushed through. Finally, just moments before the launch window, the glitch was resolved. Cheers erupted in the room, and with a surge of adrenaline, they prepared to push the button that would change everything. As Andy initiated the launch, he felt a wave of emotion wash over him. This was not just a launch, it was the realization of their dreams and an embodiment of the tireless spirit of innovation that had driven Amazon from its humble garage beginnings. The world would soon know Amazon not just as a bookstore but as a titan of technology. And as the digital doors swung open, signaling the birth of their cloud services, Andy closed his eyes for a moment, savoring the victory. Yet, even as celebrations began, a question lingered in his mind: what would be their next challenge? The real work was just beginning, and with the launch of the new service under their belt, Andy Jassy gathered the team for a pivotal meeting. The euphoria of their recent success filled the room. But Andy's keen insight reminded them that the journey was far from over. We've crossed a significant milestone, he began, but it's critical we don't lose sight of our vision. Innovation doesn't stop with a launch, it's a continuous process. The team's energy shifted from celebration to strategy. They had proven their capacity for growth and agility, but sustaining that momentum required not only technological advancement but also a deeper understanding of their customers' evolving needs. Andy highlighted the importance of data analytics, urging his team to focus on understanding customer behavior in real time. We need to anticipate, not just react, he stated, his voice firm and inspiring. Let's harness the data we have to refine our offerings and provide personalized experiences that exceed expectations. As discussions unfolded, ideas flowed freely. One member suggested incorporating machine learning algorithms to enhance the shopping experience. Another proposed a new customer feedback loop that would actively solicit opinions in a way that felt engaging rather than intrusive. The room buzzed with creativity, each voice adding to a mosaic of innovation that would define the future of their services. With every idea discussed, a familiar undercurrent of challenge surfaced. Competitors were not idle, the tech landscape had become increasingly volatile. Rivals were emerging with quick solutions that threatened to slice through Amazon's market share. The team knew they had to maintain their edge, or risk being eclipsed. Realizing the critical nature of their next steps, Andy encouraged everyone to think beyond their existing frameworks. What if we broke down the silos between departments, he proposed. Imagine the power of cross-functional teams working seamlessly together. This suggestion ignited a fire of excitement. The brainstorming session evolved into a plan, integrating their software development teams with marketing and customer service to create a unified front. They envisioned a future where engineers could directly hear customer queries, and marketers could influence product features based on real-time data from users. This synergy would not only enhance efficiency but also ensure that every decision was rooted in a holistic understanding of the customer journey. As the meeting concluded, Andy felt a renewed sense of purpose within the team. They were ready to tackle the challenges ahead, armed with a newfound commitment to collaboration and innovation. Yet, he understood that this was merely the beginning of an expansive journey. They were on the cusp of developing tools that would empower customers in unprecedented ways. Days turned into weeks as the teams worked tirelessly. They ran experiments, A/B testing new features on the platform while gathering insights from every interaction. In this phase of intense focus, they learned to pivot quickly based on customer feedback, adapting their strategies in real time. The customer feedback loop proved invaluable. It became a well of information, allowing them to refine their offerings and delight their users. And the breakthrough came when they realized that integrating AI-driven suggestions based on user behavior could significantly boost sales. Products began to recommend themselves to users like a knowledgeable friend, making shopping not just effortless but enjoyable. This innovation doubled their engagement metrics, and revenue began to climb steadily. However, amid this rapid growth, Andy remained vigilant about maintaining the company's core values. He frequently reminded his team to stay customer-obsessed, ensuring that every decision was made with the user in mind. His leadership style emphasized transparency and open communication. He wanted everyone to feel empowered to share their thoughts and ideas. As a result, a culture of innovation flourished. With the results pouring in, it was time for the next phase, scaling up their operations to match demand. Andy called for another meeting, this time focusing on logistics and infrastructure. The excitement in the room was palpable. They discussed optimizing their supply chain and implementing advanced inventory management systems that could adapt to fluctuating demand. If we can streamline our logistics while keeping customer satisfaction at the forefront, we will solidify our position as leaders in this space, Andy proposed. There was a clear consensus. The team was ready to take on this new challenge. They believed that they could not only meet demand but exceed it, setting a new standard for the industry. As they moved forward with these plans, whispers of a new competitor emerged, one that appeared to be gaining traction with a promising technology that threatened to disrupt their progress. It was a reminder that in the fast-paced world of technology, resting on one's laurels was not an option. Andy understood that they would need to act swiftly to ensure they remained a step ahead. They needed to ramp up their research and development efforts, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. It was time to explore partnerships and collaborations that could infuse fresh perspectives and ideas into their projects. In the weeks that followed, the team expanded their focus, reaching out to potential collaborators in the tech industry. They attended conferences, engaged in discussions with startups, and explored innovations that aligned with their vision. Each conversation sparked new ideas, and soon they were on the verge of forging a partnership that promised to revolutionize their technology stack. The sense of urgency grew as they negotiated terms, each team member aware that every moment mattered. They were not just working on a project, they were building the future of commerce. As the partnership was solidified, the once abstract idea of innovation became a tangible reality, one that would further propel Amazon towards uncharted territories of success. Even with this exciting development, Andy knew the importance of vigilance. The landscape was shifting, and they would need to remain flexible and adaptable. The real battle lay not just in execution but in anticipating the needs of a rapidly evolving market. As he looked around at his team, he felt a sense of pride. They were not only resilient but also forward-thinking. They had the potential to redefine the norms of the industry. At this juncture, as their strategies began to take shape, the anticipation of what lay ahead filled the air. They were poised for a transformation that would echo throughout the tech world. But they had to remain focused and agile. The work was far from finished, and the stakes were higher than ever. With renewed determination, Andy addressed the team once more. Let's harness this momentum and push forward. Our journey is just beginning. And together, we will shape the future of our company and the world of commerce. As they prepared for the next steps in their journey, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. The challenges ahead were immense, but so were the possibilities. They were about to embark on a path that could redefine not just their company, but the very fabric of how commerce operated in the digital age. And with the first steps taken towards their new vision, the team prepared to dive into the uncharted waters of innovation once more, eager to see where this voyage would take them next. As the sun set over Seattle, casting a warm glow over the Amazon headquarters, Andy Jassy sat in a conference room surrounded by his team. The atmosphere buzzed with tension and excitement. They had just completed their first successful year of expansion beyond books, launching a range of products that included electronics, home goods, and more. Yet, there was a palpable sense that this was merely the beginning. Andy recalled how, just a year prior, they had been confined to a small garage, where the initial idea of an online bookstore took root. The growth they had experienced since then was remarkable, yet it came with its own set of challenges. The competition was intensifying, and the need for a robust infrastructure to support their rapidly growing customer base was becoming increasingly apparent. We can't rest on our laurels now, Andy addressed the team. We've proven that we can innovate, and now we must ensure that we can deliver on our promises. Our customers expect reliability and speed, and we owe it to them to meet those expectations. His words resonated with the team. They had all witnessed the transformation from a simple garage operation to a burgeoning enterprise that was beginning to redefine the retail landscape. But with this growth came the responsibility to innovate not just in products, but in the very systems that supported their operations. NA's discussions turned to improving their logistics, and he shared his vision for a distribution network that could rival the best in the business. Imagine a world where we can deliver any product to our customers within 48 hours of their order. We need to invest in fulfillment centers that can handle inventory efficiently and ensure that we have the right products in the right places, and the room filled with murmurs of agreement. And the team started brainstorming ideas. They quickly realized that the key to making this vision a reality lay not only in technology but also in their commitment to customer satisfaction. Every member of the team understood that this would be a monumental task, one that would stretch their innovative capabilities to the limit. Weeks turned into months as they set about building their strategy, focusing on efficiency and scalability. They explored partnerships with logistics companies and looked into ways to leverage technology to optimize their supply chain. Each meeting led to new insights, and slowly but surely, they began to piece together a plan that would cement Amazon's place in the market. However, skepticism loomed over the ambitious plans. Some team members worried that they were biting off more than they could chew. During one particularly heated meeting, a junior team member raised his hand, voicing concerns about the financial implications of the proposed expansion. What if we spread ourselves too thin? What if our customers don't respond the way we hope? The silence that followed was deafening. Andy recognized the importance of these concerns. But he also understood that innovation required risk. If we don't take these steps, we'll stagnate. We need to trust our instincts and our capabilities. If we can nail our logistics, we will change the game. Determined to rally the team, he shared success stories from other industries that had undergone similar transformations. He spoke passionately about how companies that embraced change and took risks were often the ones that flourished, while those that clung to the status quo faded into obscurity. Inspired by Andy's vision, the team refocused their efforts, pouring their hearts and minds into developing a comprehensive logistics strategy. They established a timeline, set achievable goals, and most importantly, prioritized communication. Regular updates kept everyone aligned, ensuring that no one was left behind in the rush to innovate. As they worked tirelessly, many late nights blurred into early mornings. Occasional victories, such as securing a lease on a strategic fulfillment center location, became moments of celebration. Yet, with each success came new challenges. The complexities of supply chain management, technology integration, and customer service loomed large. And the team was determined to push through. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. Andy, inspired by the concept of a just-in-time inventory system, proposed an innovative approach to order fulfillment. Instead of stocking large quantities of every item, they could develop a model that increased responsiveness to customer demand while minimizing excess inventory. This idea sparked excitement among the team, who began to explore how technology could enable this shift. By harnessing data analytics and real-time inventory tracking, they could forecast demand and adjust their supply accordingly. This not only reduced costs but also improved customer satisfaction by ensuring that popular items were always available. With renewed energy, the team dove into the technical aspects of this new system, collaborating with engineers and data scientists to bring the concept to life. As the months rolled on, they made significant progress. And the first test of the new logistics model was set for the holiday season. Andy knew this was a crucial moment. Customer expectations would be at their peak. And they had to deliver. With the entire organization on high alert, the test would reveal whether their efforts would pay off or if they had overreached. And then the holiday season arrived. And with it, an influx of orders. As the fulfillment centers buzzed with activity, Andy watched the numbers closely, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. Hours turned into days, and reports started coming in. The initial feedback was promising. Customers were receiving their orders faster than ever before. And satisfaction ratings soared. Yet, just as they began to celebrate, a system glitch emerged. A critical software update failed, leading to miscommunication between inventory tracking and order processing. Panic spread through the ranks as they scrambled to address the issue. The holiday rush was unrelenting. And the pressure mounted. Nandy convened the team, and they worked through the night, troubleshooting the problem and developing a contingency plan. Together, they embraced the crisis as an opportunity to improve, realizing that setbacks were inevitable in the pursuit of innovation. They learned valuable lessons about resilience and the importance of adaptability, which would serve them well in the future. By the time the dust settled, they had not only resolved the issue but also solidified their logistics strategy. The experience taught them that commitment to innovation often came with trials. But with teamwork and determination, they could overcome the odds. This invaluable lesson would be the foundation for their next steps as they prepared to unveil a new phase in their journey. As they looked ahead, Andy felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had navigated through uncertainty and emerged stronger. And now they were ready to expand their vision once more. With a solid logistics framework in place, their next goal would be to enhance the customer experience through technology, ensuring that Amazon not only delivered products swiftly but also transformed how customers interacted with their platform. The team was buzzing with ideas as they prepared for their next meeting. They knew that the journey was far from over. And new challenges awaited. But with each step forward, they had proven that innovation and commitment could change the landscape of retail forever. They were about to embark on a new chapter that would redefine who they were and what they could achieve together. Let's get ready to innovate again, team, Andy declared, his eyes shining with determination. Our customers are waiting for even more surprises. And it's up to us to deliver. As they left the conference room, a sense of unity and excitement permeated the air. They were ready for whatever came next, knowing that every challenge could be turned into an opportunity for greatness. Little did they know, the next challenge would demand even more from them, pushing the boundaries of their vision and creativity. The atmosphere in the conference room buzzed with energy as Andy Jassy stood at the head of the table, his voice steady and passionate. We've made incredible strides. But we need to dig deeper. Our customers expect more than just great prices, they want convenience and reliability, he declared. The team nodded, their enthusiasm palpable. This was not just about selling books anymore, it was about shaping an entirely new retail paradigm. As the brainstorming session continued, ideas flowed freely, with each team member contributing to the vision of a customer-centric Amazon. They discussed everything from faster shipping options to personalized recommendations based on browsing history. Ideas that seemed impossible only months ago were now within reach. But the looming challenge was clear: how to implement these ambitious plans without losing sight of their core values. Amid the excitement, Andy felt a twinge of uncertainty. The company had rapidly expanded. And with that growth came growing pains. He knew that the path ahead was fraught with challenges, particularly as they moved into uncharted territories of technology and logistics. The competitors were not standing still, they were watching, waiting for any slip that would allow them to seize market share. As the meeting progressed, the discussion shifted towards technology. We need to invest in our infrastructure, suggested one of the software engineers. If we want to offer same-day delivery, we need a system that supports that kind of efficiency. The room fell silent for a moment as everyone absorbed the weight of the statement. It wasn't just about selling books anymore, it was about creating an ecosystem that could support diverse products and services at an unprecedented scale. Andy's mind raced ahead to the next steps. They would need to hire more developers, upgrade their servers, and possibly even reimagine their supply chain. It was a massive undertaking. But he was confident they could pull it off. Driven by his vision, he encouraged the team with a simple mantra: let's not be afraid to innovate. And with a shared sense of purpose, the team agreed to divide their efforts, focusing on logistics, technology upgrades, and customer feedback. Each group would report back with actionable insights in 2 weeks. As they wrapped up the meeting, Andy felt a surge of optimism. They were prepared to push the boundaries of what an online retailer could be. However, as they dove headfirst into the planning phase, Andy knew they would encounter obstacles that could threaten their mission. The logistics of scaling operations, particularly when sourcing products and managing inventory, posed significant risks. He remembered the countless late nights spent strategizing about how to take Amazon beyond the confines of a simple online bookstore. With each passing day, the team worked tirelessly, their passion driven by the desire to create a seamless customer experience. They held daily stand-up meetings, discussing progress and potential roadblocks. Even as they tackled technical issues and logistical nightmares, they drew inspiration from their early days in the garage, where creativity and determination were paramount. As weeks passed and the team's ideas began to take shape, they finally reached a pivotal moment. They gathered for a presentation where each group shared their findings. The logistics team highlighted a new partnership with regional delivery services that would allow them to provide same-day delivery in select areas. The technology group demonstrated a sophisticated algorithm for personalized recommendations that could revolutionize shopping habits. Their excitement in the room was infectious. And Andy felt the weight of their collective ambition. They were no longer just a team, they were a family, united in their goal to redefine retail. But just as they celebrated their advancements, a wave of concern washed over him. He knew that innovation often came with risks. And as they prepared to launch their new initiatives, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of a defining moment. Days turned into weeks as they implemented their strategies. The first tests of same-day delivery rolled out successfully in several metropolitan areas. Customer responses were overwhelmingly positive. But challenges emerged as well. Some deliveries faced delays. And feedback began to trickle in about the inconsistencies in service. Each piece of criticism weighed heavily on Andy's shoulders. He understood that every misstep could tarnish their hard-earned reputation. In response to the feedback, Andy called an emergency meeting. "We can't afford to let our customers down," he said, his tone urgent yet composed. "We need to address these issues head-on. Let's create a task force to pinpoint the bottlenecks in our delivery system and implement solutions quickly." The team agreed, fueled by a renewed sense of purpose. They worked late into the nights, analyzing data and conducting tests to optimize their operations. As they moved forward, the unpredictability of the market loomed large. Other companies were quick to replicate their innovations. And Amazon's leadership faced immense pressure to stay ahead. Yet, Andy remained resolute. He often recalled the humble beginnings of Amazon, reminding his team that their journey was about more than just profits, it was about creating a lasting legacy of customer trust and satisfaction. As they navigated the complexities of their expansion, they recognized the importance of adaptability. Andy encouraged an open dialogue, where every team member felt empowered to speak up and share their ideas. This collaborative environment fostered creativity and led to innovative solutions, such as incorporating customer feedback loops into their development process. The weeks turned into months. And the team's hard work began to yield results. Customer satisfaction scores rose. And the newfound efficiency in logistics started to show promising trends. However, the more progress they made, the more pressure they felt from rivals who were keenly aware of Amazon's growing influence in the market. As the team prepared for a major product launch, Andy sensed the tension in the air. They had crafted a new advertising campaign aimed at showcasing their commitment to customer service and innovation. But in the back of his mind, he knew that the market could be unpredictable. All it would take was one misstep to derail their momentum. In the final hours leading up to the launch, Andy gathered the team for a pep talk. "This is it, everyone. We've put in the time, we've worked through the challenges. And now it's our moment to shine. Let's show the world what Amazon stands for and how we are different, he urged, his voice resonating with passion. The team erupted into cheers, their energy electrifying the room. NNYET. As the clock ticked down to the launch, Andy couldn't shake the feeling of impending change. They were on the brink of something monumental. But he knew that every victory came with its own set of trials. With the excitement building, his thoughts drifted to the next phase of their journey. And he steeled himself for whatever challenges lay ahead. As the launch kicked off, the team watched anxiously as their website traffic surged. And orders began to pile up. They held their breath, hoping that the infrastructure they had built would hold steady under the pressure. The moment was both exhilarating and terrifying. As their dreams hung in the balance. The first hours passed with success. As the day wore on, Andy received alarming reports of site slowdowns. Customers began to express frustration online. Andy felt a tightening in his chest. They had worked so hard to build this moment. And now it was slipping through their fingers. Determined not to let this setback define them, Andy rallied the team. We have to fix this. Let's mobilize our best minds to troubleshoot and resolve these issues as quickly as possible. We're not just a team, we're a family. And we will rise together. With renewed focus, they dispersed to tackle the problem head-on, diving into the intricacies of their code and logistics. Andy remained at the helm, guiding his team through the chaos, knowing that how they responded in these critical moments would shape the future of Amazon. As they worked into the night, determination filled the air. And Andy felt the weight of his role as a leader. He understood that their journey was far from over. And countless challenges awaited them. But with every obstacle, there was also an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. And that was exactly what Amazon was destined to do. While the outcome of that launch remained uncertain, one thing was clear: they were not going to back down. The story of Amazon was just beginning. And they were ready to embrace whatever came next. With their feet planted firmly in the world of technology and a vision stretching far into the future, Andy and his team delved deeper into the complexities of the online marketplace. They were aware that every glitch and hiccup they faced was not merely an obstacle but a potential springboard for advancement. The atmosphere in the office was a blend of urgency and determination, a palpable energy that had transformed challenges into opportunities. None afternoon. As the soft hum of servers provided a constant backdrop, Andy gathered his team for a brainstorming session. We need to rethink our approach to customer engagement, he announced, pacing the room. His mind was racing with possibilities. Personalization isn't just a trend, it's a necessity. Our customers should feel understood and catered to, not just another transaction in our ledger. A young programmer named Sarah raised her hand tentatively. What if we implemented a recommendation engine that learns from every purchase? It could suggest products based on previous orders and search histories, creating a tailored shopping experience for each user. Nods of agreement rippled through the group. Andy's enthusiasm sparked a flurry of ideas, each one building on the last. They sketched out a plan, setting ambitious goals that seemed almost unreachable yet thrillingly close at the same time. This was the spirit that had driven Amazon since its inception, the desire not just to meet expectations but to exceed them. In 4 weeks, the team worked tirelessly to develop the new feature. They conducted tests, analyzing data and fine-tuning algorithms. Late nights became commonplace, as did the shared camaraderie that came from overcoming technical hurdles together. It was a transformative period, not just for their project but for the entire company ethos. The belief that technology could revolutionize retail was becoming more than just an idea, it was becoming reality. And when the recommendation engine finally launched, the impact was immediate and profound. Customer engagement soared. And sales figures reflected the success of their labor. For Andy, this was a validation of his belief that innovation was rooted in understanding the customer deeply and personally. The data spoke volumes. and the team's hard work was now visible on the balance sheets. However, with each achievement came new challenges. The success of the recommendation engine led to a spike in user traffic, which in turn put pressure on their server infrastructure. Andy understood that they were only as strong as the backbone that supported them. Another meeting was scheduled, this time to address scalability. We need to consider cloud computing solutions, he proposed, drawing on his knowledge of emerging technologies. It's crucial we develop a system that can grow with us, not just patch up the current issues. Some team members exchanged uncertain glances. But Andy pressed on. This is where the future lies. We can't afford to be reactive, we must be proactive. As the discussion unfolded, they explored partnerships with cloud service providers, debating the potential costs and benefits. The ambition to innovate was matched by the necessity to ensure reliability and stability, a balance they would need to navigate carefully. Days turned into weeks. And the pressures mounted. Discussion after discussion filled the room. But perseverance drove them forward. They shifted gears, adapting their strategies to the ever-evolving landscape of the digital marketplace. Finally, the team arrived at a decision that would set them on a new trajectory. They decided to invest in a hybrid cloud solution, one that would allow them to maintain control while leveraging external resources. This hybrid model would not only accommodate their current needs but empower future expansion into international markets. The excitement was palpable, it felt like they were standing on the brink of a new era for Amazon. As they prepared for the implementation of this new system, Andy reflected on the core principles that had guided them thus far. Customer obsession, bias for action, and a long-term vision were no longer just slogans, they were the pillars that held up a growing empire. The challenges faced had sharpened their focus and strengthened their resolve. In the midst of this transformative period, Andy found himself often thinking about the early days of the company. When a simple online bookstore was the only goal. He recalled the moment Jeff Bezos had sat them all down for a vision-setting meeting, passionately explaining how he envisioned a world where Amazon would be the most customer-centric company in the world. It was in those formative years that the seeds of innovation were planted. And now, they were beginning to flourish. Na's plan solidified and excitement spread through the office, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The next phase of development would involve not just tech enhancements, but also a cultural shift within the organization. They were becoming not just a tech company, but a community driven by a shared vision of innovation and customer satisfaction. He decided to call a company-wide meeting to share their successes and outline the future. The room filled with employees from all departments, each face reflecting curiosity and anticipation. Andy stepped up to the podium, his heart racing as he addressed the crowd. We are at the cusp of something extraordinary. Each of you has contributed to the innovations that define us today. And it is your passion and creativity that will propel us forward. Our recommendation engine has set new standards for customer experience. And now we are poised to take on the challenge of scaling our infrastructure. Together, we will build a platform that not only supports our growth but safeguards our mission to be the most customer-centric company in the world. Na's thunderous applause broke out in the room, and he felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. They were all in this together, facing the challenges ahead with unity and resilience. The team was invigorated, ready to tackle whatever obstacles lay in their path. With the meeting concluded, Andy felt a sense of clarity about the road ahead. They would continue to innovate, adapt, and grow, always keeping their customers at the core of their mission. However, he knew that balancing such growth with sustainability would also be a critical factor in their journey. As the team dispersed, he gathered his closest colleagues for a quick debrief. They needed to remain vigilant about their goals and responsibilities as they moved into this exciting new chapter. The landscape of e-commerce was evolving rapidly, and they had to stay ahead of the curve. And as they left the room, Andy looked out the window at the bustling city below. He understood that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges that tested their resolve. But it would also be filled with opportunities that could redefine the retail landscape. And in the back of his mind, he could already envision the next steps and how they would lead Amazon toward its ultimate goal of global leadership in e-commerce. The team was ready. But first, they needed to lay the groundwork for a future that would not only serve customers today but inspire generations to come. Let's schedule a follow-up meeting to discuss our next steps and ensure we're aligned on our long-term vision. It's time we focus on not just what we want to achieve, but how we want to get there, he concluded, setting the tone for the challenges and innovations that lay ahead. As the morning sun streamed into the modest office, illuminating piles of paper and computer monitors, Andy Jassy sat with a furrowed brow, contemplating the ambitious plans laid out before him. The conference room buzzed with energy as the team gathered around the table, their shared enthusiasm palpable. They were ready to tackle the next phase of Amazon's evolution, transformation that would shift the very landscape of e-commerce. Andy had always been a visionary, seeing beyond the immediate horizon into a future brimming with potential. He remembered the early days of Amazon when it was merely an online bookstore, a simple idea born out of Jeff Bezos's garage. Now, they were on the brink of a paradigm shift. It wasn't just about selling books anymore, it was about creating an ecosystem where customers could find anything they wanted, delivered to their doorsteps in record time. We've established ourselves as a trusted name in online retail. But if we want to truly scale and innovate, we need to rethink our approach to logistics and inventory management, Andy declared, fostering a discussion among his colleagues. The conversation turned to the introduction of a new, sophisticated fulfillment network. They envisioned warehouses strategically located across the country, designed to minimize delivery times while maximizing efficiency. The goal was audacious: same-day delivery on a wide array of products. The implications were vast. And the team understood that this would require not only technological advancements but also a cultural shift within the company. What if we could automate some of our processes, suggested one of the engineers, his excitement evident. Imagine using robotics to handle sorting and packing. We could scale operations significantly. The idea sparked a flurry of responses, each more ambitious than the last. Andy nodded in approval, realizing that this was the sort of forward-thinking they needed, to harness technology in a way that the world had never seen before. As they delved deeper into the logistics challenge, many team members began to realize that implementing such changes was not without its hurdles. There were concerns about costs, management of human resources, and the adaptability of their existing systems. However, Andy reminded them of their core mission, to be the most customer-centric company on Earth. We must not forget our customers in this process, he said, steering the conversation back to the end-user experience. Every decision we make should enhance their journey with us, make it more seamless and enjoyable. We're not just building a network, we're building relationships. With renewed focus, the team brainstormed innovative ideas to address their logistical challenges, weaving in technology that would enhance efficiency without sacrificing the personal touch Amazon had become known for. They discussed utilizing machine learning algorithms to predict demand, ensuring that products were always in stock and readily available. Weeks turned into months as the team worked tireless hours, collaborating with engineers, data scientists, and operations specialists. They piloted new technologies and tested out various strategies, refining their approach as they learned from each trial. Andy found himself increasingly drawn to the possibilities. He could almost feel the pulse of the future through the screens that illuminated the war room. As they rolled out their new logistics model, the first few deliveries proved successful. Customers were thrilled to receive their packages faster than ever before. And the positive feedback reverberated around the office. Andy could see the excitement spreading throughout the team. They were witnessing firsthand the fruits of their labor. However, he understood that this was just the beginning. In a pivotal meeting, they decided to expand their ambitions further. If they could master same-day delivery, why not aim for one-hour delivery? The idea sent a ripple of enthusiasm through the room. But it was also met with skepticism. The logistics involved in such a rapid turnaround were daunting. But Andy was undeterred. We have a responsibility to push the boundaries of what's possible, he urged, rallying his colleagues. If we don't take risks, but we don't aim for the stars, we'll never know how high we can fly. And with renewed vigor, they outlined a plan to create a network of fulfillment centers that would operate in tandem with local delivery services. This would require partnerships with numerous courier services and perhaps even the creation of an in-house delivery fleet. The stakes were high, but so were the potential rewards. As the team tackled this ambitious goal head-on, they began to face challenges that tested their resolve. Negotiations with delivery partners were complex, often fraught with competitive pressures and logistical issues. There were times when the team felt overwhelmed, but Andy's unwavering belief in their mission served as a guiding light. Through meticulous planning, long nights, but relentless dedication, they began to see the fruits of their labor. Initial trials for 1-hour delivery were a success, and soon enough, word spread. Customers were thrilled at the prospect of ordering items from home and receiving them almost instantaneously. It was a revolutionary experience that set Amazon apart in a crowded market. But success was a double-edged sword. As the demand surged, so did the pressure on their newly established network. There were kinks to iron out, moments of panic as systems buckled under increased loads, and growing pains that tested the team's resilience. Each challenge was met with renewed determination as they strategized solutions and iterated on their processes. In the midst of this whirlwind, Andy felt a sense of pride swell within him. They were not merely participants in a shifting landscape, they were leaders, shaping the future of retail. He could envision a world where logistics was not just an operational concern but an art form, a dance of precision and speed that put customer satisfaction at the forefront. As they entered yet another round of brainstorming to refine their delivery processes, Andy reflected on the journey thus far. The leap from a small garage operation to a global entity was nothing short of extraordinary. They had transformed the way people shop. And yet Andy knew that the journey was far from over. We've come a long way. And this is just the beginning, he said, rallying his team once more. Let's continue to innovate, to disrupt, and to redefine the way our customers experience shopping. If we aim even higher, we might just change the world in ways we can't yet imagine. As they moved forward, ready to take on the next set of challenges, a new opportunity loomed on the horizon, one that could not only enhance their service model but also redefine their market position entirely. Andy felt the familiar thrill of anticipation as they prepared to embark on yet another groundbreaking phase in their journey. As the team gathered in the conference room, the air was thick with anticipation. Andy Jassy, a key programmer and visionary behind Amazon's expansion, stood at the forefront, his eyes glimmering with excitement. The success of Amazon's initial offerings had paved the way for a new chapter, one that would extend beyond books and venture into the realm of technology, cloud computing, and services that could redefine the shopping experience. We need to think bigger, Andy began, pacing slowly, allowing his words to resonate with the team. The internet is not just about selling products, it's about offering solutions. We have the opportunity to transform how people interact with technology every single day. The team listened intently. They had witnessed the evolution of the company from the humble beginnings of a garage to a burgeoning online retailer. Now, they were on the cusp of something monumental. Andy continued, his voice rising with passion. Imagine a platform where customers can not only buy items but also access a variety of services, streaming music, video content, and even leveraging cloud technology for other businesses. We can become the backbone of the digital economy. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room, as everyone began to envision the possibilities. Some nodded enthusiastically, while others exchanged glances filled with determination. They knew the risks involved but felt an exhilarating sense of purpose. The first step was to secure the necessary resources. Andy outlined plans to invest heavily in technology and infrastructure. We need to build data centers that can handle our growing capabilities. We can't afford to lag behind in this digital race. As discussions progressed about potential partnerships and acquisitions, the team explored ideas for enhancing customer experiences. They envisioned personalized recommendations driven by advanced algorithms and machine learning, which would innovate the shopping experience further. Customer satisfaction is our North Star, Andy emphasized, his voice strong and steady. We need to listen to their needs and deliver beyond their expectations. We have to create an ecosystem, a place that feels indispensable in their lives. Weeks turned into months as the team worked tirelessly, fueled by the vision of a comprehensive platform. They faced numerous challenges, competition was fierce, and skepticism hung in the air like a persistent fog. But with each hurdle, they grew more determined to make their dreams a reality. Andy often reminded the team of Amazon's origins. Remember how it all started? It was just a book sold from a garage. But that single sale was not just about a book, it was the beginning of a journey. Each step we take now is just as crucial. By early 2001, the groundwork was laid. The company had launched Amazon Web Services, AWS, a groundbreaking shift that would change the landscape of internet services. Andy was at the helm, coordinating teams and strategizing how AWS could serve both individual users and large enterprises. The focus was clear: scalability, reliability, and innovation. The first clients began to trickle in. And soon, the demand exploded. Startups and established companies alike sought the robust solutions Amazon offered. AWS provided a platform for them to grow, unburdened by the constraints of traditional infrastructure. Andy and his team worked diligently to refine the offerings, ensuring they were user-friendly and efficient. As AWS gained momentum, the vision started to materialize. Amazon was no longer just a retailer, it was becoming a technology powerhouse. The success of AWS reverberated through the company, energizing everyone and attracting the attention of the tech world. Investors took notice, and the market began to recognize Amazon not only as a seller but as a leader in the tech industry. Despite the growing success, Andy remained grounded and focused. He understood that the battle was not just about technology but also about public perception. He often engaged with customers, gathering feedback and insights that would guide future developments. We must stay close to our customers' needs, adapting as they evolve. That's the key to our sustained growth. The team expanded, bringing in talent from various sectors, fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. Each member contributed their expertise, and ideas flourished in the dynamic environment. New projects were launched regularly, and the pace of development quickened. By late 2002, AWS had secured contracts with big-name clients, and its reputation as a reliable service provider was cemented. This marked a pivotal moment for Amazon, no longer just a virtual marketplace, it was now a vital component of the digital infrastructure that powered countless businesses. Andy watched with pride as the dream began to materialize. But he knew there was still much work ahead. Looking to the future, he gathered the team once more. We've achieved a lot, but this is just the beginning. We have to remain vigilant and continue to innovate. Let's look at expanding our offerings even further. Could we explore artificial intelligence or machine learning as part of our services? Excitement rippled through the room again. Each person could feel the momentum building, like a wave about to crash on the shore. The discussions turned toward how they could leverage data to enhance customer experiences and streamline operations. Ideas flowed freely, spurred by the collective ambition to make Amazon an indispensable part of everyday life. As the meeting wrapped up, Andy felt a sense of exhilaration wash over him. They were indeed at the forefront of a revolution, and he was determined to lead the charge. Let's get to work, he concluded, his voice steady and inspiring. The future is in our hands, and it's time we carve our place in history. With renewed determination, the team dispersed, ready to tackle the challenges ahead. And as they set their sights on the horizon, one thing was clear: Amazon was no longer just an idea born from a garage, it was rapidly evolving into a global empire, one innovation at a time. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the headquarters, and he looked out of the window, envisioning the vast future awaiting them. What would come next was uncertain. But there was one thing he knew for sure: the journey was just beginning. And with that certainty, Andy turned back to his team, ready to dive into the next phase of their ambitious quest. Let's discuss how we can integrate artificial intelligence into our services to further enhance customer experience and improve operational efficiencies. From a modest garage in 1994, Jeff Bezos transformed a simple online bookstore into a global empire that revolutionized the way consumers shop, fundamentally changing commerce in the digital age. With innovative ideas and relentless determination, he built Amazon into a multifaceted enterprise that continues to expand and evolve, inspiring countless entrepreneurs worldwide. As we reflect on Bezos's journey, it becomes clear that vision, perseverance, and the willingness to embrace change can lead to extraordinary achievements. Amazon's story is a testament to the power of dreaming big and executing with passion, reminding us all that great things often have humble beginnings.